when you take them a game at a time, and then you look at each opponent for who they are and what they are. You look at their personnel. You look at their strategies, how they do things. You just continue to gain respect, I think, for your opposing coach. And John gets a lot of credit for being a great recruiter and having great talent and getting to play hard and together. Doesn't get enough credit for being a really good basketball coach. I grew up in Boston, and I know what UMass basketball was like before John Calipari got there. I know what UMass basketball has been like since he left there, and arguably one of the top jobs in the country, winning, getting the Final Four of the Atlantic 10, and then he goes to Memphis and in Conference USA and makes a national program out of it. Done an amazing job there, and then he's obviously been a great guy for Kentucky. I guess the reason why I'm saying that is I like his team. I like what he's doing with his team. I like the positions that he's putting his guys in, putting them in positions I think to be successful. So they're hard to guard. Every coach knows every player's strengths and weaknesses. I think mine now being at Auburn for a few years, I've now seen his players both in high school, out there in AAU ball, and now at Kentucky. So it's almost like I have a little bit more knowledge. I saw PJ at Washington. I saw him at Findlay because he was a teammate of Horace Spencer's. We recruited Ashton Hagans for years and loved Ashton and loved his dad Marvin, and came close when he was younger. E.J. Montgomery was a commit a couple years ago, and love E.J., love his family. His sister was a great player here at Auburn. So I've seen these kids play. Keldon Johnson, we were one of the first teams to offer Keldon Johnson a couple years ago. I mean, when he was a sophomore, coming out of the Virginia area, and then he just blew up and became, a McDonald's All-American, and then, we weren't able to get it done. Kentucky is 33-3 since 1990 against us. So they've kind of owned the series. And, what an amazing opportunity for our basketball team to be able to match up with them. The guards are all pros. I think Ashton and Tyler and Keldon, great size, great bodies, mature bodies for young kids, for freshmen. They don't play like freshmen. Washington probably could have gone last year and decided to come back, and probably would have been a second-round pick, and he'll work his way into the first round at some point. Sometimes Kentucky teams come in and they're just ultra talented. They're just ultra talented, and if they play hard on that night, and they play well that night, you got no chance. This team is talented, but this team has played hard every night. They played hard. Keldon is a competitor. So is Ashton. They all are. So it's not like we're going to get Kentucky coming in here with all their talent, and they're just going to show up at Auburn Arena and think they can beat us. They know we're better than that. But more importantly, they're better than that. That's just the way they're playing. I'm impressed with them. So what's important? Got to keep them off the offensive boards. Got to try to turn them over some. They have, if this is correct now, this is my great sports information director, Cody. And I didn't know this, Cody. None of my coaches brought this to my attention. They have had 15 turnovers. Oh, I'm sorry. They've had 15 turnovers in 7 games this season. Okay. I read that wrong the first time. I thought they've only had 15 turnovers in 7 games. God, that doesn't seem possible. Not bad. So, yeah, can we turn them over some? Can we? You extend on them too much, and they're going to make you pay because they're so good in transition. So, great environment tomorrow. I do want to remind our fans that are coming to the game tomorrow. Outlet T-shirts are on sale tomorrow during the game, and of course, our outlet game is February 2nd against Alabama. We've got one more home game after this one against Missouri for our fans to be able to buy their T-shirts. But I really want to ask our fans to please buy your T-shirts tomorrow. We want to sell 6,000–7,000 T-shirts for that game. And of course, every dollar that doesn't go to the cost of that t-shirt. Just the cost of that t-shirt goes to patients and their families who are battling cancer in the state of Alabama. And you know, sometimes, you know, you'd love to find a way of how I can give $10 to somebody that's fighting cancer and just say, hey, this isn't going to do much, but at least it'll pay for the gas to get you to chemo. And that's what you're going to do by buying that t-shirt and then wearing that t-shirt and reminding people to go get checked. And then together we'll do a great deal to beat cancer.
Bruce, it seems like, you know, your front court the last 2 games have been playing a little bit tougher. They're not backing down. They're going to the rim hard. I mean, even Chuma, we saw it in the previous game. Did you challenge them? How they accepted that? And going against a team like Kentucky, how important is it to keep that up?
That's a great observation. It's very important. I mean, Kentucky's really big and really physical. I mean, they're going to go inside early. You know, Washington and Reed on the block are absolute men and monsters. So yeah, it'll be there's no question it'll be a physical challenge for us. And yes, they did respond after the Ole Miss game, probably at halftime of the Ole Miss game. I thought they responded to just the level of intensity, the physicality. You know, concerned about the fact that we're not getting to the line as much as we need to, and we're fouling too much. So in our 3 SEC games, the free throw differential has been way too much. So we're fouling too much, and we're not drawing fouls well enough. We got to do a better job of that, and hopefully continuing to pick up the physicality. Otherwise, Kentucky will take advantage. Look, Ashton Hagen's a physical point guard. Tyler Hero is a physical 2 guard. I mean, people look at Tyler and think, well, he's a great shooter, and he is, but he's a great athlete. He's a powerful, penetrating guard, big guard. Keldon Johnson is a man playing the 3 spot. Washington, they're big, strong, physical. I'd say physically they remind me more Tennessee than anybody else in the league, just by the way. So we're obviously going to step up in that and continue to step up in that category.
Bruce, you mentioned Ashton Hagen's the guy you watch. How much does he disrupt offenses by what he does on defense?
Again, I am so proud of Ashton and so happy for him. I just don't mind telling a story because it's a true story. I told Ashton when he was younger, I said, you know, because we were one of the first teams to offer him. And I said, Kentucky's going to offer you. And he kind of smiled. I said, no, listen, I'm telling you, they're going to offer you, and you're going to wind up going to Kentucky. So, no, Coach, no, I'm not. But I mean, I knew he was going to be really good, and I just, he was a self-made player. He worked hard, got a really good, you know, nice family, and I mean, yeah, I know it sounds something, but I'm happy for him. Look, it took Gilchrist going pro. He did not come to Kentucky as a one and done a year ago, and made himself into a pro. And so they had an opportunity for a point guard late that they did have. So he's had great impact. He's had 3 steals, 3 or more steals, 5 straight games. So he'll guard Jared Harper. It'll be a great matchup. Jared is still going to have a ton to prove, in the sense that, you know, obviously Kentucky didn't recruit Jared, and a lot of people didn't recruit Jared. And if they're talking about Ashton as playing his way into the first round again, well, Bryce and Jared have an opportunity again to go at those guards and see what they can do. That's one of the great things about these opportunities, the stage that Auburn has given us all an opportunity to compete on, you know, the highest possible stage, just to see. We know where they're ranked. We know, you know, look, they've got 6 McDonald's All-Americans, 9 ESPN Top 100 players, a Hall of Fame coach. We know the challenge.
How much has Ashton's kind of game, his offensive game evolved just in the last 5 games or so?
Yeah, he's just more confidence. You know, just more confidence. He's always been a great playmaker. He's always been a great team leader. He's always been a great defender. He always played with great heart, toughness, soul. And now he's just playing with more confidence. I think part of the reason is when Green transferred to Washington, it became clear on Ashton, this is your team. And that's what a lot of point guards need. They really need that. You know, it's like changing quarterbacks. This is your team.
Do you feel like your team kind of has something to prove as a whole? Just, I mean, you have a lot of hype around this team. There hasn't been a signature win yet this year.
Our team?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we got a lot to prove. You know, we got a long way to go. I'm really proud of the position that this team has put themselves in. For me, I don't see the hype. I see 33-3. That's what I see, with an opportunity to be 33-4, which is hard to do. You know, so I don't think our guys are. In fact, I think they look at the opportunity to make history. Like, if Jared Harper or Bryce Brown or Horace Spencer, the guys have been here a few years, only one Auburn team has ever beaten Kentucky 3 straight at home. To me, that's not hype. I'm not criticizing. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. I go to practice every day, so I know our warts. I know our weaknesses, and at the same time, you know, we're good enough to beat anybody on our schedule.
When you looked at the film of the Texas A&M game, the rebound margin, is there any one or two things that stand out?
I think what jumped out was, you know, when we went zone late in the half, or midway through the second half, it put Texas A&M on the perimeter, and it put Austin in the middle, and he got every rebound, and some really good traffic rebounds, and that was a good sign. And we've always been a good offensive rebounding team. And so we can improve in the defensive rebounding. Of course, listen, Kentucky gets 39% of their missed shots. 39% of their missed shots. So it's not always their first shot. Defense, it's important. You know, Chumokiki and Washington, you know, and Horace, that's going to be a major matchup. Austin and Anthony against Reed, and, you know, it's going to be a major, you know, those are the matchups physically that we're going to have to be able to win in order to win the battle of the boards.
3 common opponents between you and Kentucky so far, in Georgia, A&M, and then Duke. Is there anything from those particular games that give you any indicator of what tomorrow's going to be like?
I think, you know, we're both 2-1. You know, I think both teams will have good preparations from the standpoint of, you know, at this time, you know, there's not going to be too many surprises from a scouting standpoint. This is what we do, this is what they do. They've got an extra day to prepare. They play Tuesday night, we play Wednesday night. We're just now, I think we're now just prepared here for this Friday afternoon. It's hard, you know, coming back after Wednesday night and coming in Thursday. Gave the kids a scouting report yesterday, but didn't give them everything. And then worked really hard last night and all morning to kind of get our arms around what we think we need to do, and then just go out there and play. Thanks, guys.